What's up, Toronto? It's Azalea here. I am on the hunt for the best seafood in Toronto, and I think I found a place.
Rodney's Oyster House started in 1986, and Rodney, he's from Prince Edward Island, so that's where the whole connection to oysters comes from. You know, Rodney's Oyster House is really known for its seafood. We specialize in live or fresh seafood because everything we get is fresh or alive. So we have lots of saltwater tanks, and then we can put live lobsters, we can put live crab, live oysters. Oysters themselves, we carry anywhere from 12 to 22 different types of oysters every single day. It changes every day. So if you came here 2 months ago and then you came back, you're not going to be seeing the same oysters. They're going to be all different. We don't buy from like a fishmonger in the city, we are the fishmonger. So we have our own licensing to buy direct from anywhere in the world. And now what that means for the person who's eating oysters on the bar is that they're the freshest. So we carry a lot of oysters, like heavily focused on Atlantic Canada. So Prince Edward Island, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick. And then we have a great portfolio of American oyster suppliers on the East Coast.
So I have my plate of a dozen oysters here in front of me. They're from 3 different places: Massachusetts, PEI, and New Brunswick. Now I'm going to show you how you should take an oyster. We're going to go with this one. Now this liquid in here, you definitely don't want to dump out. This is called oyster liquor. So to taste everything, where the water's from, where we pick these out from, you want to take this whole thing without any of the toppings first. But I'm going to go in with some of these toppings. So I want to try the seawitch sauce. This one is made by the part owner's grandfather. There's over 50 ingredients in here, but it's kind of sweet, kind of spicy. A little squeeze of lemon. Then you want to make sure it's loose, and we're going right in. Another misconception when eating oysters is that you just swallow it whole. You don't want to do that. You want to actually chew it so that you can taste everything.
Outside of oysters, lots of lobster. Like that's a huge thing for us, being able to serve a whole lobster to somebody. A whole crab from British Columbia. Scallops are really popular, so the scallops that we get are from the Bay of Fundy in Nova Scotia. Shrimp and lots of different chowders, like New England clam chowder, Manhattan clam chowder, steamed mussels, lobster roll. Pretty much every table gets a lobster roll. He originally followed my mom to Toronto because they met in PEI while she was on vacation. They hit it off, and he was like, okay, I'm gonna come back to Toronto and, you know, hang out with you some more. They eventually got married. My grandfather used to ship boxes of oysters on the potato trucks that were coming into the food terminal into Toronto. And Rodney would get a little list, and he would have to drop these boxes of oysters off to people's houses, and then nobody knew how to open them. So he'd come back for the party, they'd have a great time, and then eventually somebody was like, you know, you've got to have an oyster place.
I consider myself a little bit of an oyster connoisseur. This is how I take mine. Lemon first, and then this shallot vinaigrette. It's one of my favorite flavors. Vinegary, but also sweet. And then, of course, Tabasco. Cheers.
We put product first, put the oyster first, and then we feel like if you serve somebody a really great oyster, everything else is going to follow in behind that. When you come into our home, you know, we want to treat you with that kind of integrity. Like you're welcoming someone, it's that sort of maritime hospitality, and all of the way that we prepare our food is really low intervention, so that the product just sort of speaks for itself, and it's the freshest that it can be. And so that's why I think, you know, we've been here for so long, because, you know, we care about people when they walk through the door, and we also care about serving them the best product possible.